this shit is sad. I didn't realize till like a second ago, yo, there's so much shit I'm boycotting right now that I forget the shit I'm boycotting. And then I gotta remember that I'm boycotting it to a point I have to tell my wife, yo, remind me I'm boycotting Thrasher, for example. Remind me I'm boycotting, I forget his name all the time, but he's just that, like, he's a weird old dude who, like, he's decent at skating, but he could never be pro. Dan Corrigan, that's his name. And so he just wound up being like a Don King for skaters. I'm boycotting him. And it's fucked up because I'm not boycotting Andy Anderson. No, I'm just boycotting Dan Corrigan. Thrasher. I'm boycotting the Barracks. Like every major skate thing that's out, every major syndicated skate platform, I'm boycotting all of them essentially. I'm not boycotting Transworld, but that don't really exist no more. It's kind of fucked up too because a lot of shit I'm boycotting, if it weren't for so much of my ideologue type properties that I have, it's really in a way it's putting myself at a fuck disadvantage because, for example, Thrasher, that's the only game in town for a lot of shit. If I want a specific video, a newer video, that's the only game in town. I mean, thankfully there is a channel that's got all the older shits, all the iconic shits. And the thing is too, with where skating's at now, like, it's really just making the shit look the nicest at this point. Like, I mean, there's still new shit to come up with, but like, put it like this, everything that's cool as shit, it's been done. Like, there's some shit that's been done, and I don't think it'll ever be done as good as that one take on that one, you know what I'm saying, take from way back when. I don't think they'll ever do it that nice again. But, nah, this video is speaking on something very specific because it's very personal to me, given what the issue surrounds, and the way that I look at it, it's worse than probably the way most people see it. They probably is taking it at the face value of, I don't know if he's a CEO or chief editor. He's something with some power to gatekeep at Thrasher. And he had Nakel, Tyshawn, and I forget the other black skater he had. It was like 3 black skaters up in this bitch. And he felt just comfortable saying, yeah, I'm assuming the way they made it sound was like he was saying it with the A on it, but still, that's the same thing as the ER. Not the same thing as the ER. Okay, let me be clear. That you'll get asked to stop. You feel what I'm saying? That won't lead to straight up altercation immediately. You feel what I'm saying? That'll be the type of shit where if you boys with somebody for a long time, or you'll know if you could say it. You feel what I'm saying? But you have to come from that culture to sort of have that radar with that shit in the way I feel. Because I know when I can say it. I know when I've been boys with someone long enough, I'm familiarized with someone long enough to where I'll be like, yo, you feel what I'm saying? And it just so happens I have so many black friends like that I have to stop myself sometimes from saying it on videos so people will notice that shit. But when it comes to like the dude at Thrasher, who I think that might have been the very first time in his life he had 3 black pro skaters in his office at one time for a cover shoot. It might have been 2, but it was at least 2 or 3. It was at least Nakel and Tyshawn was there. Which I think both of which, or one of which is Kareem Campbell's nephew. You gotta think about it, before these days, it was really, you had like 1 or 2 black skaters at a time. And when one was phasing out, a new one was coming in. So you had like, okay, you had like Kareem Campbell came, as he's phasing out, here comes Compton Ass Terry. As he's phasing out, well, not phasing out, he still wasn't phased out when he caught this charge. But he never got the chance to blow like a Stevie Williams did. You feel what I'm saying? So it was always like staggered. There was never this influx of like huge influx of black skateboarders at once like there is now. And it wouldn't be bad enough for me to boycott it if the dude wasn't in the position he's in at Thrasher to gatekeep. And if not Kel and Tyshawn, whoever else was there, like, I don't understand how he ain't get jumped. Because according to the way it sounded just like, I don't know if y'all might have seen it, there was some teacher way back when who, like, because he was a white teacher who was in an inner city school teaching, like, and all the kids was like, yo, he was like, yo, so can you lend a pencil? Like, he started trying to, and, like, I'm assuming, I felt like the people who complained about it were trying to get a bag. I'm just saying, because the way it looked a little bit like, you feel what I'm saying? Like, you had one parent who complained. I promise it wasn't, you feel what I'm saying? It was a bunch of, it was a mainly, I'm assuming, at least a 30 to 50% black class, if not above 50%. So, anyways, with this situation, he's just sitting there like, yeah, my like, basically throwing this shit around like, it sounded like to levels like what Mark Furman went to with the ER in that taped recording that got the OJ case turned on his head because they found a recording. I don't know how this dude recorded himself just sitting there saying with the ER on it over 200 times. But that's what the detective in the OJ case did that started the whole shit unraveling. That's why every time I see him on the news, I leave a comment and I say, nah, don't put that motherfucker up there. Don't, like, what is wrong with you? You act like that just never happened. And that's the thing that always fuck Fox News up with me. They always got to do some dumb shit. They make a few valid points and they do some dumb shit. That's another shit I'm sort of boycotting right now because the whole way they tried to spin the weed shit on 420. That's another shit I boycott is 420 as a holiday. Not as a time, only as a date. And there's a specific 2 reasons for that. But yeah, it's crazy to me because he was sitting in there and the way he was saying it, it just sounded like the way I would talk to people who I'd known for years. You feel what I'm saying? And you just met these people. And you know, and it's the position he's in. You're in a position to gatekeep. Not only that, you are in a position to potentially contract these young men and own them for a period of time. Because you can't really do, I mean, you could do a item deal with skating. You could be like, okay, you're going to do this amount of magazine articles. You feel what I'm saying? But at the same time, it's still the principle of it and the position he's in and the fact that they kind of need him and he's never met them from a hole in the wall. And you feel what I'm saying? It's all that combined to where even with him saying it with the A, like it seemed to be, it was enough to where it was like, okay, so you're just doing the same. It reminded me of if you had slaves on a plantation and instead of with the ER being used, you just used the A. And I wouldn't be able to feel like that if it weren't for him being some type of gatekeeper at Thrasher, which is really, as far as if you want your shit, because Big Brother don't exist no more, a lot of the other shits that was around don't exist no more. If you want your shit to be promoted in any type of way, you need them. And it's just like, at the same time, it's like, I don't think he ever would have talked like that to nobody else. I mean, if I remember, I think I heard something like, one of them, whichever one, maybe both of them, is Kareem Campbell nephew or whatever, asked Kareem if he ever heard him talk like that. He's like, no. So it's like, it's just really weird to me. It's like, I don't even like skating that much, but this shit really made me think about starting up my own skateboard, man, just so, like, down the road, motherfuckers do not have to deal with this. Because I'm telling you, like, if it was me, that would never come out my mouth, period. Not with the A on it, not with the way that it's spelled. That doesn't exist in my vocabulary. That shit just wouldn't come out because it's like, bro, it's like, I don't know these motherfuckers from a hole in the wall. When you know you've known someone who black long enough to where you're boys enough where you could just be, you'll know when you could just be like, yo, you might. And I only say that because I've been there dozens of times, at least. Probably more than that. And you know when you could say it. You know, you get like a feeling when you could say it. You feel what I'm saying? But that feeling never happened when it's the first time you meet somebody. Unless you're with someone who you been had that relationship with and he overhear you talking and he, you know what I'm saying, be like, where you from, wherever the fuck he say, you know what I'm saying, and basically because he know you from a certain culture and other people you've been down with for hella long who understand you, whatever the case, then, you know what I'm saying, that's the only situations. If it's like a third party that like over here you talk with one of your boys you've had that type of relationship with for years, you feel what I'm saying? There's no reason he should have been saying that shit with some Nakel and some Tyshawn who he don't know from a fucking hole in the wall, especially in a business setting, because it just creates this, I hate even saying this, plantation type like setting almost, where it's like because of business relationship, it's like you just being a slave master replacing the ER with the A, and that's a huge problem to me. You know what I'm saying? That's a culture and community I've been lucky enough to be accepted into and loved like I was one of their own. You know what I'm saying? So when it's issues like this and then it cross over into issues like skateboarding, I really feel it's my duty to really speak on it and be like, yo, this fucked up. So I just had to bring this shit to you, and it really bothered me when I realized, yo, you are boycotting so much shit. You be having to tell your wife to remind you to boycott certain fucking shit because you be forgetting. I'm out this bitch, man. Fuck Thrasher.